Morning Chatter podcast with your host Chelsea and
Courtney. Hello.
we have a guest today.
Yay, drum roll please. Mr. Luna.
Mr. Luna, you guys put baby in the corner.
I know.
Yes. But
Well,
we so you're also our first male guest too.
Whoa.
That's a big deal. We're going there.
I'm
Very
honored.
honored,
It's a
right?
privilege.
I mean,
Just
you
to be
went
here.
from
Just to be
production
nominated.
to fired production to you're now
Yeah,
on the
you're-
show.
I'm
Oh
on
my
the-
God.
We clearly need
You
you.
might be the next host. I'm getting pushed out of the way here.
We're all anyways.
There we go. Is that
Look
better?
it up. Be
Okay.
confident. Here we go. He's a little nervous.
Peacock.
Peacock. So what we're going to talk about today is social media.
Yes.
The good, the bad, the ugly, the whole intense feel with social
Enchilada.
media. Yeah, we didn't have social media growing up,
Thank
really,
God.
so I would be
In a lot of trouble.
Yes.
No.
That would be terrible. I'd be so embarrassed. Like,
Embarrassed and in trouble too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff we did just.
Okay, we were angels.
Oh,
Mom.
God.
We got caught with everything we did
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
so
true.
we didn't need
Well,
social media to get us in trouble.
Yeah, we were probably just sitting at my house actually. Anyways, so we're gonna kind of dive into that, and because we all obviously watched The Social Dilemma,
Yes.
and so kind of where do you want to start with that? I don't know if we want to go into the.
We have no plan for today's show.
We don't. So let's just kind of figure it out. So the movie went over the good of social media, but it really dived into the bad parts of social
Yeah.
media and how it
Which-
kind of takes over.
Which we already kind of know, but it was interesting to see it being spoken about by the people that like used to work there.
Yeah.
Like was like the head of Twitter, and he's like, you know, spin all their secrets.
So what do you think that was though? Because me and Bo, when we were watching it last night, were thinking like, okay, well, are they trying to scam us into something? That's so terrible that I
Well, I did get a weird feeling from the documentary, like it was, I don't want to be too conspiratorial, but that it was almost
fake.
two staged.
Yes.
Two staged, and you have all these former heads of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that coming in and giving their secrets. I feel like they should be in the dark with a voice modulator.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Like I know this person's not gonna watch it, but that guy in the show with the gray shirt that said he was like the head of Pinterest, I didn't believe a fucking word that
Oh.
came out of that guy's mouth.
The Brady Bunch?
Yes, he totally did look like he was on the Brady Bunch. I looked at Bo, I'm like, this is so fake. Like, at least a little smaller guy felt a little bit more like real and passionate
Yeah.
about his like idea of maybe putting some kind of limit on social media. I don't know if that's the vibe that you guys got from it. Is that what you?
The whole
That
goal of
end, the goal of it? Yeah, like what was the goal of that documentary? Because they're not going to get us off social media.
No, the goal was to make money for Netflix.
Yeah, that's what the goal was. You're
That's
right.
really what it was. It's a hot topic right now, whether it's politics or anything else going on. Everyone's on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, let's put out it's very meta. Let's put out
Yeah.
a social media thing against social media, warning on it so people will get on social media
Yeah.
and talk about it.
That's true, because it is like any documentary you see on Netflix. You're like, well, I guess I'll be vegan today because Netflix told me to.
Yeah.
You know, it's
And
like,
what they did, which I haven't seen in a lot of documentaries, is they interwove that Academy Award winning drama
Oh,
within
that's so bad.
within it. It was so over the
that
top.
was so over the top. Like the girl breaking.
Breaking,
They looked at Bo
hulking
like,
out.
well, cool. Those parents have legit no control of that
That was
kid.
kind of weird.
Because oh my God, I'm pretty sure my dad would smack my ass if I broke something that he bought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't just be like, oh, go take care of her. It's like, where's that too? Like, where are the parents coming in?
Well, that's another
And
whole other topic on
I guess
this.
you're right.
Well, on-
Let's stay
on
with
this, we'll
social
get-
media. Okay,
We'll,
okay.
we'll get to
We'll
that
get
part
there.
of it.
No, totally.
But and then the other kid, I like to harp on the shit. The other kid, Mr. A Week,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
the phone, that all of a sudden he's like,
Three-
he's in his
3 days.
room, and it's like, really, you're just gonna do that? I mean, I know there's people that are like hyper addicted to it, but
Oh, 100%.
but if you take it away, they're gonna do something else. They're not gonna sit there like,
Sit in your room and mope. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
they're-
that's such a thing though too. Why can't you just be bored? You know, and does the kid have no freaking friends? Go hang out with your friends that have social media.
We're in a pandemic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were. They were saying it was during that. Huh. That's true. But they were at school,
yeah,
so that
Well,
wasn't right. Yeah. I mean, go out. Like
I know.
the extreme of that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're not.
And I
on
get the
your
point. They're making a
phone,
point, so
they
they're
are making a
hyperbolic
point.
about it.
I get it. I feel like it would have been a little bit more relatable though if it was a little more real
Yeah.
for me.
I did like it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I liked the how they did the AI
Yes.
portray the AI of the people
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
doing all that. Which
That was
I mean, it's true. It's all algorithmic. That's how everything
100%.
goes. And I guess, like you were saying before, I mean, this is nothing. I mean, I don't know. I guess I take it for granted that I know it, but that I figure everybody knows that
I know.
that's how they target you. And I mean, in my business, we deal with that. We deal a lot of social media with ads,
Mhm.
ads on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that stuff. So a little bit more insight on that. Where the targeting of that is so micro. You can get
Yes.
down to, you know,
People that live on the street.
yeah, you know,
Oh, for real?
women from 30 to 45 that are
You can get a
single
certain
mothers,
age group, a certain type of thing that they're into, you know,
Yeah.
like where are you spending your money?
where you're shopping,
you
what
know,
you're
where
watching
you're
on
shopping.
TV.
But isn't that the point of everything? Like even when we used to watch TV with commercials, shit, no
Yeah.
one does that anymore.
Yeah.
But they were marketing towards you. You picked up
Yeah.
that cereal, you got that new weight loss thing, you did this, you did that. It's the same thing.
And they made one guy made that point that it's been
Yeah.
the same thing since the Telegraph or
Exactly.
whatever. It just
Like, it's
changes.
marketing is everywhere, and they're more advanced now to pick up on those cues of like, okay, this person's really into this, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let's send them
Let's
more and
blast
more
them.
and
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
And I like kind of what she said at the end, like, well then don't click on those suggested things.
Yeah.
I don't.
Search
Don't
for
click
your
on
own
shit.
thing. I
Yeah.
do click on a lot of stuff. I bought
You're right. I would like to watch that next.
Yeah, totally. I
Thank
bought
you.
a lot of
Well,
shit
going
on
down the-
Instagram.
Yeah, going down the rabbit hole on YouTube, definitely. When he was talking
Yeah.
about the different rabbit holes, and they're gonna watch this, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch. I'm watching, you know, XYZ topic because
because I'm into that.
yeah.
Exactly. So why wouldn't I want to see?
But then they have the roll ads that go into there, which
Yeah.
is fine. But and again, it's you're not forced to buy it.
Yeah.
At that point, it's something you want, or even if it's not something you want. That's what it's funny. People always think, "Oh, the phone's listening to me. The phone's listening to me." We just talked about that, and I saw an ad for it. No, you searched for it somewhere.
Yeah.
You clicked on something. You searched for it even a week ago.
Yeah.
Because those trackers last just like any affiliate links.
No,
you know,
I
you
see
go
that.
there, it tracks you for 90 days.
Yeah.
But what about the people that like said they talked about it for the first time last night and then today they saw?
I do
That
feel
didn't
like that's
happen?
actually happens.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, do
No.
you like IHOP or this? And then it's like an ad for IHOP. It's like what the hell?
Or
I
maybe
mean-
you're just more aware of it, like the new
Yeah.
car syndrome
I
thing.
thought about that too because I've done that too.
Yeah.
Like when you
But
see a new
it's
car.
like I want to see ads that pertain to things I want to buy anyways, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird to see random things? Like even if they are listening, I guess that's a slippery slope, but wouldn't you rather see ads and deals for things you are interested in as opposed to things you're not?
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't
what
know.
I
I
would
don't
hope.
know. I kind of just
No, exactly.
And if I wasn't into it though, I would fly past it
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fast that it wouldn't even come on my radar.
Yeah.
That probably has happened to me where I'm like, no, I don't need that. I
Yeah.
don't need that. I get emails about like the most random shit. I'm like, I don't know where that even came from.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, I'll take
legit.
you off the list.
Please. The dating sites need to go.
But they're in my area,
Silver singles.
and they need me.
No, but it is, I think it can be a slippery slope for, I mean, we're adults, so it's like, okay, yeah, I do need to limit that time
Yeah.
that I spend on, I probably spend too much time on Instagram, especially if I'm lounging, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I like what they said about it being like at a casino,
Mhm.
or like just one more like pull of the slot machine is kind of what we do with checking our phone. Well, let me just check it one time real quick, and let me, you know what I mean? It is hard to kind of just set it down and like walk
Definitely.
away. You look and see, okay, what's next for me, or what new notification do I have?
Well, it
is
happened to
super
me last
addicting.
night when I was watching it. It's like, you have a memory from 7 years ago. It's like, do I really give a shit about that
Yeah.
memory 7 years ago?
Yes, I
I saw clear. Maybe I don't want to see that memory.
Nope. Yeah.
But I think that's how they get you in too, is those
Well,
memories.
and they talk to me about, you know, the psychology of the likes and the clicks and the buttons, and you know, is it, you know, cause and effect, or is it the chicken and the egg? Is it those people that are already have those insecurities or sensitivities that, oh, I need that fulfillment from there, that then that preys on that, or does that actually create that? I'm sure it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, because I actually think that if you are searching for that praise on Instagram, you're probably searching for that praise at home.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're one to be like, oh my
It's deep.
gosh, yeah, you know what I
That
mean
is
though?
true,
Like, but
yeah.
it's probably something going on inside,
Right.
like at home, where you're like, fuck, I don't get any attention at home, but I get attention here.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's where that whole, with the kids too. I've seen adults do it, like, oh my gosh, I know, like, got all these likes, and you're great, awesome, you're amazing, keep going, blah, blah, blah. Those are great, and I love that
The
positive.
dopamine dump.
But I love that positive side of Instagram, like encouraging people, and that's amazing. But it's like, at what point are you like, oh,
Just relying on
okay,
that.
are you just relying on these
Because if you
random
don't get any, then
people?
you're sad. I mean, it happens
That
to me
sucks.
sometimes too. Even like, aw, no one liked that or something, or
No,
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 one
no,
commented.
totally.
You're like,
Like,
oh, Bob.
Stop
Totally.
it.
So
But I
Jeff,
mean,
you
it's
need to give
also-
us some affirmations.
No,
at home.
but it's also like when it comes to like, business stuff.
But
you know,
yours
like,
is
then
different
it's
'cause
more
it's
of
a
like
business.
kind of like a damn. No one, did.
No
did
one
this
saw
big-
that,
Yeah, like
so
no
I
one
can
saw it.
sell
Like, was
that.
the reach not good?
Exactly.
Like, that's kind of where.
Because
not
you
like, no one
legit-
commented on my
No,
hair.
totally. You legit sell stuff on the internet. You
So
know
I
what I
need
mean?
it.
So
On the
you,
interwebs.
I always say internet. Like, I'm like, do you listen to cassette tapes too? I'm terrible. But you know what I mean? Like, you have a business that is run through Instagram and whatever, Etsy or wherever you're selling it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're kind of like, you need to put it out there. And yeah, maybe you would be like, oh, shit, maybe I put that up at the wrong time.
Yeah.
No one saw that. So I get that part of it.
Well, and again, that's a good side of how fast and exponentially it's grown.
Yeah.
The capabilities for, there's a lot of internet people talk about it, Gary Vee and a bunch of people that, I mean, there's been no better time that you need virtually no money.
Yeah.
You don't need access to anything. You can get online and you can sell and make money. Whether it's flipping stuff, you just put it out there. All these platforms are free. Instagram, Facebook,
Exactly.
Etsy, they're all
What a time to
free.
be alive.
No, but for real
But it
though,
is,
like
though.
that's
Like,
so cool.
anyone
Like,
can
even
just
for
start a
like
business.
working moms at home, or but all those people who have those blogs that are selling other products like protein powder or skincare or things like that. That's, I think, not a bad thing
No,
because
it's great.
shit, at least usually maybe it is the moms, you know what I mean? But at least she has some kind of like creative outlet too. So it's like, I legit think there is a positive spin on social media, but I do think it can really go south if you're not
Yeah.
mentally checked in
Well,
with yourself.
I
guess.
also really, with a lot of things, I'm big on the being able to say words when I'm thinking of them.
like everything in moderation kind of thing.
Well, no, yeah, but I mean self.
Are you thinking- Yes,
Not
exactly.
Um,
Are you thinking of like self-control?
control.
We need like
3 words,
dictionary
starts
thing.
with,
Okay. Is it a movie?
No, when you take responsibility.
Oh, yes.
So it's like anything. People, not to get into anything, but people talk about guns or
Yes.
political
Political views.
or even weight.
Yes.
People blame the food, blame the restaurant, blame this and that. And I know there's lots of different issues and reasons. I'm not saying that, but a lot of it is the self-control, but responsibility. You need to be responsible to yourself. So the same thing with social. I know it's much more difficult with kids because their brains aren't developed and they're gooey idiots.
Definitely.
Um,
They're not
Love you,
there yet.
Archer.
Yeah, but so responsibility for the kids. At some point, you need to. I mean, especially in high
Regulate.
school, regulate, and the parents. Like we're talking about, it comes down to parenting, and like with anything, you can only do so much.
Oh, definitely.
And at some point, just be like, especially when they get like into high school, because what are you gonna do when they leave the house? It is what it is. But I mean, yeah, I don't want our kids on any social media. It's going so fast. Who knows what it's gonna be in 5-10 years?
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Your
to think
kids are
about.
almost there as far
Mine
as
are almost
really.
there, and that freaked me out because, like I was telling, I think both of you 2 weeks ago, when Jack is only in 6th grade, and on his Zooms, the teachers are saying, "Put your phones away," and I'm like, "Man, my kid doesn't have a phone." And then you get that thing of like keeping up with the Joneses, like, shit, he doesn't have a phone. But like my sister said, she's like, "I'm not getting my kids a phone. All his friends have phones. If he wants to call me, he can use his friend's phone."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
true.
that's a good
Yeah.
point because every single kid has a phone, and I just don't think they're ready for that at that
Yeah.
age.
Or
It's
maybe
one
like-
thing
Give
to
them a
have
Motorola
like,
flip phone.
Yeah, like
yeah,
an
or
old
just
one
like a
for
watch
safety.
that where you just call just your mom
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
you know what I mean. But it's
I like that for like being able to call for safety. So maybe
Exactly.
like an old school
Yeah,
that
battery
doesn't have
lasts for 2
access.
weeks.
I agree though because then it gets dicey when you're like, okay, here's
Play Snake.
a $1,000 phone. First of all, you're buying your kid a giant.
Have you seen mine? There's chunks out of the
Yes.
front screen. So
No, it's
how can
like-
a kid take care of it if
That's
I
what I'm
can't?
saying.
Well.
It's like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my gosh, so there's that, and then, I don't know, like, why don't you also teach them, like, you know what, you're not gonna get everything that your freaking friends have. Maybe you do wanna buy your kid a phone. Totally cool. You have to keep tabs on them. They're in sports, like, you have to know where they are. That's fine. But you should also be like, hey, just because Jimmy's got it doesn't mean you have to have it with everything. And it's like, comes down to that.
It's a 2-letter word.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I'm like,
What is it?
Tell us.
22.
Yeah, it's no, and again, and maybe there needs to be swinging to the far end of a pendulum of, I don't want to say over compensating on the
Dead air.
Regulation.
dead air. No, this is what happens there.
You're supposed to be completing a sentence.
Yeah.
by the
Dude,
way.
we didn't sleep
Sandwiches.
last night.
Exactly.
We didn't sleep
I'm
last
like,
night.
I'm trying.
Our
Um,
baby had a rough night. We were
yeah.
all
Oh, that's
hot.
the worst. That's the
Um,
worst.
Brain fog.
What was I gonna say? What were
We
I
were
don't
talking
even know what
talking
we were
about
talking about.
kids and how you don't
Oh,
have
so,
to have them
okay.
keep up with the Joneses and
So about, okay, they want the phone, then you have the adoration and all that coming out there. You need to provide that at home.
yeah.
And maybe even more so to make up for that. But at the same time, I don't like the coddling and the
Yeah.
whole 8th place trophy, everything's
not a fan
good,
of
sunshines and rainbows. So you can't have that because then that exacerbates that when they don't
Like
get that.
overcompensating.
Yeah, they
or-
freak
Yeah.
out. But still providing that,
Yeah.
but not that side of it. So a balance.
I'm down with you on that. Like, I definitely don't coddle my kids.
They
like,
need to get kicked in the teeth.
unfortunately, it's like, because my parents didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's too
Tough
many
love.
kids for them to coddle us
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
sorry, man, you fell down, you better get your ass up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's how I've always been. Like, it's like, even when they were that small and they fall down, we were talking about this last time, it's like, you can't, like, be like, I'll come save you. It's like, because you're not always going to be, it's terrible, but I tell my
Yeah,
kids
no,
that. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking be here every day of your
Yeah.
life to tie your damn shoes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Get up.
Get up and tie your damn shoes. If they come untied, then you're going to have to tie them again. You know? Like,
Mommy
it's
loves
like,
you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Kids
Exactly.
need to be, they need to be toughened up, especially.
But I can tell my kid, no, I'm not getting you a cell phone. I know for
Yeah.
sure Jack doesn't give a shit about a cell phone. He's just not there. But Luke will 100% be asking for a cell phone. I can already see it because he's a social kid. He loves talking. He loves that, like, you know,
Yeah.
computers, games.
But they have like iPads or whatever.
100%.
Does
Yeah,
that-
they've got iPads.
Does
It's
that
like,
not have like the social media?
no,
app? Like,
would-
is it
I
allowed?
mean, I'm
like,
not going to download
right,
it.
but I mean, could they go into? I don't know what
He wouldn't do
restrictions
that.
are.
That's
on
protected.
that.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that though. Yeah, like first
Like
he needs
it can
an
have
email.
like parent
I mean,
protection
I
stuff.
could see later in life him just sneaking it, honestly, and being like, I don't know, set up my Instagram.
Oh, but it would
it's
tell
like-
you like, oh, you downloaded this.
Yes,
or- okay.
exactly. Even with, because they do play Fortnite, so even with that, that's associated with our email, so it's like he can't just go and buy
Yeah.
shit ton of skins, and then all of a sudden you're like, 10 grand later, and cool, you got this giant skin wardrobe, like, what the fuck, you know?
I don't know what any of that means.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare. Don't ever let your kid play like that. It's like they say, it's the most expensive free game because it's free
That's how they get you.
and then you have
The
to.
in-app purchases.
It's freaking Instagram.
Yeah.
It's social media. You know, like it's like I
Well,
said.
it goes back to sorry to interrupt, but
No, that's fine.
it's the drug game.
Yes,
That's how the first one's for free,
exactly.
and they hook you.
No, but it is a drug. I do think social media is a drug because I'm guilty of it and I'm an adult.
Well, and one of those guys said he's like, there's only like 2 companies or 2 whatever that call
yes.
their people users or
Yes.
whatever, like
Drug dealers.
and
Software.
Software.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't talk.
No, totally.
Yeah.
And I think that is the problem, though. So then what do? Do you regulate those kids to a certain age? Is it like freaking smoking cigarettes where it's like, hey man, you can't go on Instagram until you're 18? Well, what about all those
Well,
other kids that are already on?
How do you? The problem is, how do you really do that?
You can't go back. Like, so you have to, I think, find a solution to, with everything though, it starts in your freaking
Parenting.
home.
Yeah.
I think.
You know, with everything, like it's like not just social media going on there. It's something at home where
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah, and they
Struggling.
You know, I haven't verified this, but you know, they put that graph up about suicides,
Oh yeah.
and again, there's I've done research methods, and there's a lot of correlation versus causation. So, okay, yeah, it happened to start to increase during the time of cell phones and social media being available on cell phones. But did they control for, did those kids actually have that? There's a lot going on, and there's cyberbullying even on kids, because this links into the cyberbullying, which is basically what it is. It links into, even if you don't have the phone, they're all cyberbullying and sharing everything about you if something
and
happens.
you're not even on it.
Yeah, but you hear about it. So again, I still think, like you said, it's just parenting. And it may be different, and it may be more now, but there's the adage, every generation thinks they're the best, and that their things have gone to shit the most, and it's always that way. And there was bullying 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Whether it's bullying or just social acceptance, there's cliques, there's groups, there's the skaters, the loners, the jocks.
All in the same group, you know what I mean? But now it's on a computer.
Yeah, it's at mass. So that is different, but
it also comes up as a learning opportunity too.
Yeah.
I've had my kid come home and say like, this person was mean to me or whatever, and I'm like, well, those are just words, man. I'm like, do you believe that?
I like how you even imitate.
I try not to, because he actually doesn't like when I do that now. So I'm like,
It's like you
hold it back, hold it back. Although he can't, poor little guy, can't say his R's. So I always do that. But it's like, do you believe that? That's what I tell him. Do you believe what that person said to you? And he's like, no. I'm like, then it shouldn't rock your boat, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
am I a whore?
yeah, no, exactly. It's
Exactly.
like, are you dumb? No, you're not dumb. And then I also say, now you know how it feels when someone calls you a name, so maybe you shouldn't be putting that out there either.
Yeah.
All of this is like a giant learning space for you as a parent too, because it is hard. I could see it honestly being harder for girls. I don't have girls, but then for boys, because there's that weird like Snapchat
filter
that totally changes your face and manipulates the way you look, and it's like there's no like real. I can't even imagine what's going to be like in 10 years to not have like a real
and
image of yourself
it won't
and
be.
of
You won't know who you
beauty.
are.
And even just like the sexual route of all that with
That's
naked
scary.
pictures and all that. Yeah, like,
Well,
definitely
and
scary.
like I said, much more for women, and get shit for this, but they have body issues.
Yeah.
Okay, disclaimer: men can
Yes.
do all that too.
But men do have body issues.
I need to carve out my 8th ab
Yes.
hack. But no, yes, everybody has issues, but more so women, young girls. And again, I don't blame media, I don't blame celebrities or magazines or any of that shit. Okay, whether it's a guy on Men's Health that's jacked up, I'm gonna start doing that workout.
Yeah.
Or a woman who looks fit and bam, bam, bam. And
Also on a magazine.
on a
You're
magazine.
Right. It's the same thing.
Whether it's Women's Fitness or Vogue or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
That's what those are for. Those are the, where you want to call it unattainable or attainable dreams where, I want to look at it like that. I want to be like this guy, was it bromances on Ryan Reynolds and those kind of people, or for other women as well. That's what those are for.
Yeah.
And you need to be a parent and teach your kids that, hey, that's what this is. This is not for you to necessarily look like this.
Not to mention, to get to that point is also scary. Like, I know there's like a lot of like in the bodybuilding world, like a lot of eating disorders and all that kind of stuff. And,
it's
so
not
it's like
natural.
not actually as healthy as you think.
Right.
But there's that image of like, oh my gosh. I also see it as like, damn, they fucking worked their ass off to get there. It's hard work.
Yeah.
But like, at what point can you tell your kid like, that's like an elite athlete?
And that's like all they're doing.
That's
all
all
day.
they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there are other things that you can do. Like we were saying, like when the kid's like, oh, I didn't get my phone for 4 days. I just go sit in my room. It's like, there's plenty to do outside.
Yeah.
Go
like that
even
girl you keep
during a pandemic. But you know what I mean? Like, you can go outside and do anything. Like, I don't know. I think the parents need to really.
It's parents.
It's hard. Parenting is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I've made many mistakes. I always say, like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pay him for that comment later in life. Probably shouldn't have said that.
That's gonna come up in their therapy later.
Exactly. You don't have college funds anymore. You have like a therapy fund. You're like, I hope I get a grant for that. Shit. Hopefully they send them out for the pandemic, because that was rough on the kids too.
Yeah.
Like being pulled away from that social aspect of being around kids. And, like you were saying with your little guy, like you guys were involved in like so many things, Gymboree and play dates and all
But now
that.
it's all online.
And now it's all Zoom.
Well, we don't do all that, but yeah,
Yeah.
for everyone else. It's
Yeah,
online.
it's getting back there.
It's,
But
and I'm
There's no,
going back there. Well, let's not go there.
there's there's no stopping the train. It's left the
agree with
station,
you.
and who knows what it's going to turn into. It does
Like
a
they
lot
said,
of
you
good.
can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah.
Or the
It's
toothpaste.
out.
Or the
Did they say something about the toothpaste?
no.
You're trying to put toothpaste back in the tube? You can't put toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. You gotta figure out how to manage it and handle
Going
it.
on the mirror.
Yeah, it's like everything.
Okay, we're good. Just like trying to
Yeah, be a good parent.
be a good parent.
Or
Or be involved.
be a parent. Yeah, be involved. That's all it is, because a lot of it is, that's not going to happen if you're around and if you're there. If you're there and around, and I know, kids, teenagers, they don't want to talk, they don't want to, but who cares? Take the damn door
Yeah.
off the hinge. you
Although I
know?
do know a couple girls that have teenage girls, and it always falls down to the girls, and she's a very involved parent, and her daughter struggles with that. And it's like, it's just like a natural thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Well,
You
yeah.
wanna like shake them, like,
yeah.
you know you're good just the way you are. And it's like, I don't have a high schooler as a kid yet. I'm not there. So I feel like I can't even say what I would do, although,
Yeah, you can. Screw that. I hate that crap.
yeah.
You don't
right?
need. You don't
Like,
need to be there.
I mean, I'm already doing it as an
Yeah.
8-year-old.
exactly.
So I'm not gonna all of a sudden be like, well, you're okay. You know, like, yeah, let's just go over there.
And
Get
that's
out
the
my
thing. Yeah,
face.
you can be
I've done that.
involved as you want and should be, but that's not the magic pill. And that comes down to, again, personal or individual, not psychoses, but the individual psychology and their makeup.
Yeah.
Some people don't give a fuck about anything anyone says, does, whatever it is, rolls off the back, and some people take it all to heart, wear
Yeah.
their heart on their sleeves. So even if the mom or dad is there and it's okay, this doesn't mean anything, blah, 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 all the platitudes, and they have a good relationship. If that's just their mental acuity, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but
If that's how they're wired,
that's how they're
Yeah,
wired,
that's how they're wired.
then that's how they're wired. And now your job is just to,
Be a support system,
yeah,
I think.
and just
like,
keep eyes and make sure that it doesn't go south to where they're getting depressed and having eating disorders and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And it may still happen, but I think maybe not all cases, but most of those probably would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
Because if that's how you're wired, and people,
Yeah, I don't think the parents can control like everything, how
Yeah.
it works out. But yeah, I guess it,
right, so
but a
that's
support
why,
system is such a big deal.
Yeah.
And that-
You know,
that's why I don't like the blame game. I hate the blame game of anything outside of,
take responsibility for
Yeah.
yourself at the
Is-
end of the day.
yeah,
And that's kind of how I feel too, even with social media. If I feel like I'm on it too much, then I back off of it. You know what I mean? It's
or it's like Apple has that little thing that tells you how long
Yeah.
you've been online for the week, and you're like, oh, okay.
I hate that though, actually,
Like,
because it's
don't
like
tell me,
I
please.
listen to a freaking podcast,
Right.
Pandora. I
So
got
it's
my
counting
Loop
all
app
that.
going. It's
Yeah.
like you've been on this for 7 hours. It's like, really? Because I was only on the Instagram for like an hour.
Yeah.
mhm.
And I don't know, but then I could read into it. But yeah, so I guess it just comes down to being a support system for your kids or for your friends.
Yeah,
I feel
or
like
your
freaking adults are going through this too.
Yeah.
Like it's like some of them are like
it's
addicted,
It's
but they
addictive
would be
personality.
addicted to something.
it's
else.
addictive personality. I don't
And it's
I
a
don't
way to
get
feel
addicted to anything.
connected too, though, especially
Yeah,
like,
because
when
we're
you're-
social beings.
Yeah.
I love connection. Even as an introvert, I think you can thrive on connection. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to sit in this room by yourself. You have connection with him, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like you say that, but like I think that would. It's like when they used to put people in.
cages
No, like when they used to put them in.
underwater.
When you're in prison and you get.
The hole.
Oh, solitary
Yes.
confinement.
Yes, and they went crazy. It's like you can't, as a human, we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, people say, yeah, I'm an introvert, I can be all by myself. I don't think realistically anyone could be by themselves for a long period
No.
of time.
Unless you're Howard Hughes.
And yeah.
Start filming
But
jars.
but you know what I mean. So it's like I think everyone at some point craves some kind of interaction. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of interaction, but it's some kind of social interaction with people. You
Yeah,
know?
and I mean, there's obviously positives about it, but it's like I have friends online. It sounds so weird that I've never like met in person, and it's just from like kind of we met with like our businesses. So I have like
And what a blessing.
like I have a friend in Australia that does macrame. You know,
That's
one
cool
in
though. I'm
one
sorry,
in,
that is cool.
one
That
in
is
Canada. You know, friends like scattered around that. You know, there's a few of us that actually like have a group chat and we talk to each other all the time, and we're scattered around the world, and it's awesome.
Then
Hey,
you're,
Boho girls.
then you're also
listening.
seeing how they're reacting to all this stuff
in their
too.
world.
Yeah.
No, the good definitely by far outweighs
I think so.
the only. I mean, I really don't see the only potential negative is. I don't see it. It's the if you want to call it the bullying or just, but it's on the people. It's their self-worth that's getting diminished because of so-called clicks and likes and
Because they need
and
that
whatnot.
affirmation.
Yeah,
And like we said earlier, you're not getting that affirmation from somewhere, so you need
exactly.
that.
So that just keep on going. And I mean, this would segue into the tech companies, and they touched on this a little bit about potential manipulation of, okay, well, you're only going to get fed your self-confirming bias of what you think, whether it's obviously political climate now, whether it's politics or anything else. People look up conspiracy theories or food videos, whatever it is, you're going to be fed,
things that align with it.
Yeah, and they did have a spot on there how talking about the right and the left, how if you're conservative, you're obviously going to be clicking on certain things, and even if it's on the same topic, you're going to only get fed self-confirming stuff that confirms what you already think and believe. And the same if you're a liberal on that side. And so when you talk to each other, like, how can, they brought this up, how do you not know this? How do you not see this? And it's because they're not seeing it.
You have to go out.
And it's the same thing. This is why, well, not that I don't use it, but I try not to. But when you go to Google, wherever you are, you're going to get a different result.
Yeah.
That's why I use either the incognito or the separate browsers, like DuckDuckGo.
Is that one that guy said in there?
He mentioned one. Yeah,
He
I forget
mentioned
what he
one, and I
said.
was like,
I don't know what he mentioned.
I've heard of
idea
it,
what he
but I
said.
don't remember.
There's a number of them, but like DuckDuckGo.
That's a good one.
And
I've never done that, so that's a good tip.
It doesn't trace what you do, and
Just gives you info.
So if you search like where to hide a body, that won't pop up later when they search things, or that's going to be in your
Oh, that'll be up no
computer
matter what.
anyways.
yeah, that's on there.
He's just saying it
I'll
doesn't
use your
give
phone
you
when I search
only
Yeah.
only the things you want to hear. If I hear is keto good for me, only good things are gonna pop up. Yes, keto's good for you. Yes, good. Is keto bad for me?
So it's going to be
Yes,
unbiased.
keto's bad.
Right,
Yes,
because
keto's
it
bad.
doesn't take into your whole history
Yeah.
and where
Gotcha.
you live.
Yeah.
So you do this. Like you can figure out which one to get, but like DuckDuckGo is a good one.
Okay.
Go to if you use Chrome or whatever your normal browser is, go to Google
Okay.
and start typing in and seeing what the autofill, and even just see what results, and then go into like DuckDuckGo or another.
And it doesn't suggest an
And
autofill?
it'll be different. There will be different autofills
Got it.
than normal, and you'll see the results. You're right next to each other in different browsers, and you'll see the different results that pop up.
Oh,
You get more of an unbiased or what's actually out there versus what it wants to send you.
that's good to know.
So there's
I
like no
legit
algorithm
didn't know
in a
that.
way.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do is get info.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
that's why I
algorithm.
do follow like people that I don't agree with, because
So you can
I
see both
love
sides.
seeing both sides.
Yeah.
And I actually do kind of feel like sometimes I fall a little bit in the middle, but like it's like with anything, not just politics.
Right.
Know your
Anything
enemy.
with nutrition, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all that stuff, like with your
You have to
like
check your
behavioral.
own thoughts.
You got to get
and
in
beliefs,
to
yeah.
see what other people are saying.
Yeah.
Because how am I always right? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You need to be like, okay, let me look at the other
Jeff's
side.
like, oh, I'm always.
Well, no.
You don't want to
it's-
get brainwashed by
it's
one
not-
view.
Well, I mean,
Right.
there is some kind of what is that? Makes you more real to be like, ah, shit, I
Right.
was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I was wrong on that. Okay, I totally accept that, but let's move on with this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
you have to say, well,
no one fucking does that anymore. Like it's always you're right and there is no other fucking side. Like
Yeah.
you can't even interject.
I love to.
That's
I've
scary.
been known to debate a time or two.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
why I
okay.
do search the other side typically,
Yes.
and I try to find at least what their argument's going to be, so I can
Yeah.
tear them to shreds.
Yeah,
But
go.
Yeah, because
nicely,
they're wrong.
He's
You
always,
gotta go. You gotta
You gotta
go.
go.
he's always like very like kind and respectful, and
Yeah.
he's always like, "Don't say you cannot type that. You cannot type that to someone." I'm like, "Well, I don't think it's rude. No, it comes across as rude." I'm like, well, "I don't think so. So he's
Yeah.
always very like tries to be like
That's what we
respectful.
judge.
Even ground.
She's not allowed to make any of our customer service calls. She can't call a phone company. She can't call electric company because
Yeah,
we'd be
totally.
sitting squalor. They cancel all our accounts.
They're like, whoa, psycho, turning off your
Right?
freaking electric.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I just ask questions and then they fall apart. Whoever they are, I haven't said who.
But with
anybody
anything,
is. Yeah.
you know, like I like that though, because then you can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
My husband said he went to, when he was at work, he was at a car dealership with a certain thing, and him and this guy were having like a legit conversation about what's going on. He was on the opposite side and he was on his side, but they had a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like more of that needs to happen too. Like, and that makes me sad about social media too. It's like when someone puts something up and then you don't believe in it, so you fucking come at them
Yeah.
like you're a piece of shit because
Yeah.
you don't believe this. It's like, whoa, calm down.
Right.
I just wanted to cook my bacon with my butter. You know what I mean? Like, it's like anything people get, it's that
You're so passionate about it.
mentality
So
of like
you stick to it.
extreme and like,
Tribalism.
yes. And you should read this book Bo's reading. It's called The Madness of Crowds, and it talks about that, like how people need that force to carry on with their madness.
That reminds me. This was oddly enough. This was in junior high. I don't know who it was. A teacher, something, and they were talking about crowds like that, mob mentality, and they're talking about if you have a crowd, a group of people, 10, 20, 50, whatever it is, and they're all yelling, getting unruly, and you keep yelling, stop, quiet down, nothing will happen. But if you pick out one person's name and yell their name and tell them to stop, they'll hear you, they'll stop, and then people will see them stop.
Because it's personal.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you get the name of one person, you can yell and scream everything just as a crowd, because
Yeah.
now they're a crowd.
Yeah.
There's no personal responsibility. You're not being called out individually. That's the same thing as anonymity on Facebook
Yeah.
or social, anything online. But when you're called out yourself, then you stop and it kind of dissipates.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
never heard that. That makes sense though,
It does,
because when
it's weird.
some gets personal, then they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So maybe when,
Okay.
I was thinking when you got like, even just kids arguing, like, you got two boys, if they're going at it, instead of just stop, maybe, I don't know, I'm not saying what to do, but maybe yelling one name will
I've tried that.
get them. Maybe you need
They
more,
have to
It wasn't
maybe,
me.
maybe
It
you
was
need
that
more
one.
more of a crowd.
Yeah, we need a bigger crowd than that.
Maybe it'll work in Utah.
It would probably work. Yeah, it would have probably worked in my house actually with the 6 kids. It's like, Chelsea! Oh. But I get that though.
I got that
because
yell,
then
that
it's
was just
personal.
one.
No, I thought you had a brother. No?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're older.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all
Oh.
still are.
Yeah, they're not as
I haven't
big.
caught up
They're,
yet.
they're not.
They are older.
No, I think that's a great point though, because it can get a little unruly. And I like to keep my Instagram very positive. So if there is something that I've read and I don't agree with, I just keep going.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Keep on scrolling.
Yeah, unless it's a personal attack on my family. Then yeah, I might. And I might not. Honestly, I might not get engaged with that person because it will go nowhere.
It usually goes nowhere, really, with any topic. If
Yeah.
if you have different opinions, it's usually gonna go nowhere, and you're just both spouting out what you think, and it's not really gonna change someone's mind. Once in a while, it will.
Yeah.
That person's mind might be changed, but usually not. So
Yeah.
why do we even talk to each other? Really, is what it is.
Yeah, that's what
Because
it
we're
is.
supposed to
It'll
create
be-
each other.
We are. Alrighty.
And all right, well that was fun.
On that note, don't delete your app that listens to this or watches
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
We are pro Instagram.
Yay, social media.
Because I really believe it's not going anywhere, and I don't know. I kind of feel like we're going to be in that movie, Ready Player One, where
That's
they're
an
all.
awesome movie.
I love that movie where they're like legit in a video game. It's like, oh
That's
yeah,
how they live
I could actually, unfortunately, see that happen because it's.
Yep.
We're getting
We're
there.
living it.
We're living it right
Maybe
now.
I'll have to
So.
watch it.
You should.
Oh, it's so good, and the music that they have with it is
Oh, yeah.
like.
I've never even heard of it.
Of
Really?
course not.
Is it the Real Housewives of
Stop.
Player One or whatever you just said?
No, didn't Steven Spielberg do it too?
Jeff hates
I
me.
think so.
I don't watch
Oh,
anything
it's
that he
so
loves.
good, and they
No.
put like old movies
Oh,
in it, like
the car chasing. Oh,
yes,
that's awesome.
the whole oh yeah.
Speaking of that, a movie you should watch if you haven't. old movie, Lawnmower Man.
Oh, I don't think I have. Who's in it?
Some dude.
love that guy.
Probably.
Does it have to do with social media?
Yes, probably
I don't know.
maybe 80s or 90s.
I love a good
Not
80s
not
flick.
social media, but virtual reality. Basically, the guy gets stuck and becomes like this weird virtual reality god. But I think there's a lot of movies named Lawnmower Man, so
Oh.
be careful.
Am I going down a rabbit hole?
You can get a
Come on,
horror or
one
a
more.
Hey,
Okay,
the leaves
Jeff.
are getting long.
Bo, he suggested this for
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
Oh,
Lordy.
on
Okay.
that note.
Right?
You'll know which one it is.
Okay.
You'll know which one. Lawnmower Man.
But I won't be looking on Google. I'll look on the other one. So
Yeah.
it pops up.
Go.
Goosey Lucy. There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Is
Well,
that
that was
where we
fun.
end
Thanks
it then?
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
being
me.
on, Jeff,
For
Mr. Tech,
being here.
Mr. Tech guy, and production.
Yeah.
And you didn't get fired today.
Not yet.
It's
We'll
a
see.
good day. It's only.
Did we press record on anything?
Probably not.
All right,
Alrighty.
well, thank you.
Thanks for being here.